All right, friends, it's Timon, and I'm back with a Blaha video, bro. This has got to be one of the dumbest videos Blaha has uploaded yet for us to react to. So we're going to react to the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave, JasonBlaha. And it is approximately 5:12 in the morning. Actually, just saw it now, 5 in the morning. So we're going to react to this video. So Blaha says, pro bodybuilders train on machines because of drugs. What? They train on machines. Whatever, man. People train on machines because they're there. That's all. They're available.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here with JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about the fact that machines have been largely popularized due to heavy drug abuse and enhanced bodybuilders. But a quick reminder.
He made that shit up, man. They've been popularized because heavy-duty drug addict bodybuilders. Whatever, man. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. The reason why they develop those machines because it's marketing, it's money, that's all. And people find it's a lot more people, the average person, are lazy. So they find these machines comfortable because they're seated all the time. They're sitting down doing these exercises on the machine. Think about it. The majority of your exercises with free weight, you're standing up, right? And what do most people like to do? They like to sit down a lot, be sedentary. So they made these machines so you could sit and do your exercises. I always say you should stand and do your exercises using the regular cable machines instead of those machines where you're sitting, because you want the compound exercise. That's what you want. You want it to be compound as well. Look, a compound movement means a full body workout. Okay, a deadlift is a compound workout. Okay, well, think about it like this. If I grab the entire stack and I'm curling the entire stack on a cable machine, right? Is that not a compound exercise? Right? I have to lift the weight up, right? I'm standing up now. All that pressure of the weight is emanating through my entire body. So that is a compound movement. See what I mean? Now, but you're sitting down doing exercises. That's not compound. So I always emphasize people do their exercises standing. Use a cable machine, but don't use the machines where you're sitting, because it's not compound. That's why.
If you guys will please click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, do so, and please drop me a comment down under the video. Let's get into the topic. Controversial point, but I think people need to understand this. When you go back and look at all those classic physiques that existed, for decades, they were mostly built on free weights. Okay, barbell.
They were built on free weights. Look, man, the cable machine, the fly cables. Using cables to fly. I never used that. They have these ones where it's a little bit closer. I use the cables to press. I press the cables. I never fly them. That flying is just bullshit. So I use it as a pressing movement. Depends. Sometimes you could flare your elbows all the way backward, get a better stretch on the cable machine than you could possibly, I don't know, bench pressing. It's just a different variation. There's a lot more tension involved, so-called mechanical tension involved in the doing a cable machine, because you're not relieving the weight. Every time when you use free weights, you're relieving the weight. When you hit the top, you relieve. When you go to the bottom, it somewhat relieves, and then you move it up again, it relieves at the top. So yeah, there's no relief when it comes to the cable machine. The tension is always there. It's always there. You don't see a lot of people pressing cables. They're flying, but they don't press. See, here's the thing. You can press more than you can fly. It's kind of obvious.
Dumbbells, bodyweight exercises, no one had any trouble building a great physique. And in fact, you still see, even among people like CrossFitters and other people, you see amazing, phenomenal physique.
Building a great physique. Are they into building great physiques? I don't understand what Blah is talking about. He's got this fantasy that bodybuilding is about building great physiques. Bodybuilding just means exactly what it sounds like, bodybuilding. You're building your body. What are you building? Muscle. You're building up your body, building muscle. That's really the goal of bodybuilding. Now, anything after that, when you build up your body, it's a carryover to every sport. That's what bodybuilding is. You go bodybuild, and then it's a carryover to every sport. You get stronger by building myofibular growth. Yeah.
All the time still, and they're still living on free weights, GPP, all this stuff. Yet we have machines that have been popularized. They've even been taught that, oh yeah, they're good for people for have machines that have been popularized. They've even been taught that, oh yeah, they're good for people for new people, they're good for the elderly, but they're not necessarily the case. Those people really need to be doing big structural movements, right?
What's with him and him flaring his arms out? He just looks like a goof. Can you imagine him walking down the street like this, trying to flare out his arms? He has zero shoulders, zero arms. His chest is completely flat. He just has a really weird rib cage, and he suffers from kyphosis. That's why his back sticks out. He has no back. It's just sticking out because of kyphosis. And look at him. He's completely bald, man. Like completely. Like his head is a round egghead. Pure sarcopenia, dude. It's just so fucking. Maybe I'll use this pic. I don't know. Looks goofy.
We know this, right? We know movements that move their body through space is really what these elderly.
If there was ever an influencer that would disgust you, make you run away from fitness, this would be it, Blaha. At least the other influencers, they're smart enough never to show themselves looking terrible. But Blaha, he just looks like crap, man. I mean, absolute junk.
People need to be mastering, right? It's what they need to be mastering, and you don't even have to generally start them on machines. They could literally be taken by trainers and be assisted through variations of squats and hip hinges and things just fine. Okay, very, very, very easily, and that is literally what they need to be doing. They do not need to be on machines. But let's look at where machines got really popularized was due to Arthur Jones. Again, promoted a whole training system, and he made
a fortune. Arthur Jones, what a genius on these crazy machines.
All sorts of nonsense just built around the fact so that he could sell machines, right? So that he could sell.
It was for people that were lazy, sedentary. They like to be sedentary, sitting and doing their exercises. Yeah.
These specific machines, and
listen, man. I've even seen Mike O'Hearn. He's a lazy bitch too, man. He does a lot of seated stuff like behind the neck presses, military front behind. He's seated. Why isn't he standing and doing it? I do him standing up. I would never do anything sitting down.
I'm not saying all the machines were bad or that some of them.
Of course, there's like behind the neck pull downs, right? You're seated on that, right? Okay, that's one of them that you possibly have to be seated on, kinda. But I've done them standing up as well, using the cable like that. So yeah, you don't have to totally be sitting there doing pull downs for your lats. But all these other exercises, you don't need them, man. You should do them standing up.
Weren't good, but again, this was all marketing, right? He marketed entire bodybuilding training approaches just to sell his machines. And let's be clear, it's like you look at Arthur Jones, it's not like he was a lifter. Not like he was a lifter or bodybuilder. Come on. He did not look like he lifted at all.
So why should he lift? Why should he? Does he have to lift because he's selling machines? Is that it, Blaha? He doesn't have to do fuck all.
This was a business for him. But you start looking at the machines and people say, well, all these bodybuilders, tons of bodybuilders, and well, some of them don't. You still saw Ronnie Coleman.
And he was smart enough to understand that it was a business.
And Jay Cutler and all those guys still doing big, heavy squats and deadlifts and things. But when you look at the machines, I want people to stop and think about this.
Big, heavy squats and things like... Man, this obsession Blaha has, these heavy squats and things, you don't need any of that. You just need to build myofibular growth. The reason why a lot of people go to the gym, they think, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to create this body of my dream thing or something. They can't stop eating the slave food diet, which has already corrupted their physique, destroyed it. So everybody usually has low body fat. Young people are slim and have low body fat. You know, you see them, but if they keep eating the slave food diet, it destroys that. They go to the gym because they do what? Because they want that body. But the problem is they don't realize their food is they're fighting against their slave food diet and going to the gym. It's a never ending story. It's ridiculous. They're constantly, I gotta go to the gym. And then they're like, I gotta lower this body fat because I'm fat, I look terrible. They wanna get leaner. They wanna get a little bit build, but get mostly lean. But they could have done it on a natural animal or natural raw carnivore diet. But they're too fucking lazy to do that. But they're not lazy enough to go to the gym to fucking destroy themselves, get it? And starve themselves on the what? The peasant slave food diet so that they can fucking go back to homostasis. They're out of homostasis because of the slave food diet. So they go to the gym thinking that that will put them back to homostasis. They're fucking retarded. What will bring you back to homostasis is your natural animal, raw animal carnivore diet. But of course, I mean, Blaha will will he'll tell you that being natural is you're crazy. If you eat natural food, right? Natural animal food, you're crazy. But you're not crazy if you eat artificial fake food like him on the food stamps. You're normal according to Blaha. Yeah, eating the peasant slave food diet, artificial
You
diet.
guys considered why a lot of bodybuilders can't always do a lot of free weights?
Yeah. Bodybuilding was originally created to regenerate muscle. Listen to the word regenerate muscle. That's what bodybuilding is. But this guy, he has turned it into something where it's accelerated aging. In other words, you just keep breaking proteins down, lifting. You're a lifting slave in the gym. It was never meant for that to age you like it's aged him. Like, let me go to the gym and age the fuck out of myself. And I'll keep fighting this domestication because, the homostasis part, try to go back to homostasis because my slave food diet keeps throwing me off homostasis. Why do you think all humans, look at them, and the older they get, the more obese they become? Fuck, I see them in the restaurant sitting down, people a lot older. They're all obese. Why? Because it's caught up with them. Get it? They're out of homostasis. What causes it? The slave food peasant diet. See what I mean?
Considered it's because of the drug side effects. And I think people don't think about this, right?
Yeah.
Particularly when things like oral anabolics come into the mix.
Okay.
Everyone who's familiar with this already knows where we're about to go,
Is this video made because he wants to talk about steroids and he's equating steroids with machines? That's retarded.
right? They cause insane back pumps, insane back cramps, intense back pumps and cramping and things when you train.
Yeah, back pumps and cramps. What's causing that? The peasant slave food diet. No natural diet would create that. Any of that. It's created artificially because you're eating a what? Artificial diet. So it creates these artificial things.
Doses start going up.
Yeah.
Well, think about that. So how easy is it for them to do the volumes they're trying to do on a barbell movement? Okay, keeping in mind most bodybuilders are trying to do really high volumes.
I love this
And
posing bullshit.
a little bit of barbell stuff. Even Ronnie Coleman over here doing a couple reps with 800 pounds.
He's obsessed with Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman over here with lifting 800 pounds, taking massive amounts of juice to lift that 800 pounds because he's too weak to lift it by himself.
Squats and deadlifts, now granted equipped and everything in wraps, but still going into the Mr. Olympia back in the day. Okay?
Men over 40. If you've got...
Okay?
Yeah, Mr. Olympia back in the day. Do bodybuilders need to lift astronomically heavy weight? No. If it was based on real bodybuilding, it's regenerative. It's based on regeneration. So you can't be lifting consistently in a gym. It can only be done periodically. But you get a lot of crazy people that want to accelerate aging and slave themselves to this artificial strength called motor units, so they can keep up with the motor units. I don't know that lift. Just crazy.
But then all these guys have to finish up on all these machines. It's because they don't have the lower back and everything that can handle it. The intense cramps and pumps from the high doses of drugs, particularly when orals are added in, interferes. Okay, we need to be clear. This is directly interfering with their ability to train. The same thing when we think in terms of conditioning. They're all big. They carry a lot of muscle. So again, this is the problem. This trickles down to people and they think, oh, because these body...
They're all big, they're carrying a lot of muscle. They're all big because they're fat. What an idiot. They're all big because they're fat. It's not because they're carrying a lot of muscle.
Builders doing it, this must be the way to train. No, any tension is going to help them grow. When you're on tons and tons and tons of drugs, all tension.
I love this. Any tension is going to help them grow. Grow what, though? What's growing them? How is tension growing them? See, this is where people get everything misconstrued in the industry. So these people take steroids, right? And they go lift weights and they go, look, I'm getting big. But it really is the sarcoplasm. You're loading glycogen in your muscle. That's what you're building when you're lifting weights. You're building sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Myofibrillars, they don't grow in gyms, man. They grow outside gyms, get it? So if you're going there because you think you're building muscle in a gym, well, good luck with that. Just eat a lot of carbohydrates. Don't worry. You'll build exactly what you're looking for. Artificial muscle growth. But hey, it's okay. You could pretend like everybody else. Pretend muscles. Lots of people pretend they have muscles, bro. And then they're like, my gains are going. Then they got to go eat the pizza joint and lift weights again. They got to go back there and get that pump because you have to keep loading it in there so you can expand the sarcoplasm. Like I said, a lot of people fake it. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't be upset. Now, if you think it's going to equate to making you physically stronger, it's not. And maybe lifting a lot heavier, no, it's not going to happen. But hey, don't worry. You could always fall back on those motor units. Get it? And you could pretend that you're strong by recruiting motor units instead of building myofibrillar growth. Okay, dude? Like I said. Faking it, it's okay. You can fake it. All of you. Just fake it. It's all right. A lot of people are faking it today, man. Okay? Lots of people fake it. They have these fake muscles walking around. They're really just fat. Like Blaha.
Any volume, any tension is going to work. Anything they can do to get to that muscle will absolutely work because they're on enormous amounts of substances that make them grow. They would be super jacked if they stopped lifting. But lifting obviously helps, you know.
They would be super jacked if they stopped lifting. There's no animal in the animal kingdom that lifts weights. Everything there is based on a hierarchy, like the strong survive and the weak die. It's really simple. That's why the weak have to keep hiding from the strong. Yeah. And bigger is always stronger. A bigger animal is stronger than a smaller animal in the animal kingdom, and they know that. That's how it works. It's kind of obvious. But in this world, people will argue otherwise because they're crazy. They're stupid. Because they feel threatened. They always... See, here's the thing. Smaller people feel threatened by bigger people. And in the back of their mind, they're always thinking to themselves when they're walking out in the street passing another man, they're thinking, can I take him or not? Or can he take me? Or can I take him? You know, that's the thing that goes through their mind. That's why they have this thing called the Napoleon complex, dude. Get it? They're always thinking, can he take me? Why do you think these small manlets are all in the gyms lifting weights? They think if they get wider they're not taller, so if they get wider, maybe they have an advantage to taller, bigger people. They think, well, I'll be stronger than them. Good luck with that one, dude.
Let's be clear about that. They're all out of shape. So stop and think about that. Look how hard bodybuilders can't do, serious big bodybuilders can't do serious cardio. They just slow walk on a treadmill or whatever.
Why would they do cardio? That would defeat their purpose. It would shrink the sarcoplasm if they do cardio. That's why they take specific drugs to retain this energy source in the sarcoplasm when they're cutting, when they're doing, they take drugs called cutting drugs. That's what they do. That's all. Yeah. To get that, to fake the look.
They get on a stair step or on a slow thing. Why? They have no conditioning. The drugs cause so much inflammation, massive body weight, inflammation of the chest cavity and everything. A lot of them struggle to breathe. So they can't even do real cardio. So
yeah, because this is sarcoplasm. That's why they struggle to breathe, because the sarcoplasm is massive. That is gross. Building myofibulars, you could never get to that size building myofibulars. That's ridiculous. You would never look like that with myofibular growth. That's why those crazy bodybuilders, when they go after drugs, it all goes away. Like Batista now and The Rock. Look at that, man. They're like, oh my God, he lost so much weight. Where did it all go? Where did it all go? Because it wasn't muscle, bro. Get it? Muscle just doesn't go away like that. It takes a long time to starve it. If it was myofibular growth, you'd have to starve it over years. It's a degradation over years. Even I know that from my experience. When I went from 285 back to somewhere like 255, 250, and I kept going backward, it took years for it to go away. It just didn't like go away. It took years, and even now, even to just go away, I really have to starve the shit out of myself for them to just go away, because they're permanent. They don't just go away unless, of course, like I said, you starve them. So what maintains myofibular growth? Well, food, protein maintains myofibular growth. Weights don't maintain that. Weights maintain sarcoplasmic growth. You go to the gym and get the pump. So you go there to maintain artificial growth. That's why people go to gyms. They don't even realize that. They're too dumb. They're too dumb to understand that. They think that shrinkage in their muscles, they think that's myofibular. They're mentally sick. They need to go see a psychiatrist. That isn't myofibular growth. Myofibulars, they don't shrink like that and then come back all of a sudden. I went on vacation and come back and I'm going to blow them up again. Yeah, carbohydrates don't build muscles, dude. But they will build artificial muscle, give the illusion that you have muscle.
you really think they're going to come in and do a bunch of volumes if they're like, man, I need to get 10 sets of 10 plus reps in for my quads and glutes today?
Look, why do you think a lot of people argue? A lot of these goofballs, they'll say, "Oh, these bodybuilders aren't strong," or "These people who got big, they're not strong. They're big, but they're big, but they're not strong." Yeah, because it's sarcoplasmic. It isn't myofibular growth. If it was myofibular, they fucking destroy you, man. Think about that for a moment. If your body already has myofibular growth and you're already physically strong as a young person, look at yourself in the mirror. That's myofibular growth. Where is it going? Is it shrinking? Are you shrinking? I'm talking about not working out at all. The muscle that you have on your body, is it shrinking? Is it getting bigger, smaller? No, it's not going anywhere. Want to know why? Because it's fucking permanent, duh. So when you build permanent myofibular growth, you think it just fucking shrinks, goes up and down, goes away? No, it doesn't. It doesn't just fucking go away. Now, in the lifting world, in muscle damage, you can get there is that chance of getting an entirely new fiber. You can get some. Now, as far as sarcomeres, they're pretty much permanent, but those are the ones that can go away. They're permanent, but they can go away. You understand me? With the time, if you don't maintain it with protein. Because those, again, they're still built artificially. They were built artificially. They weren't built naturally, like your body building these muscles naturally up to the age of 15, and then they stopped building. You understand me? You're doing something artificial. Right.
Think they're getting under a barbell to do that? They have no conditioning. They're not going to be able to do it.
Well, yeah.
Between the back cramps, the back pumps, the running out of breath, they'll be dying over here. They literally can't do it.
Okay.
right? A lot of them can't even handle the barbell rows. They can't even handle the barbell rows they need.
Whatever.
Some of them can, they might get a few sets and then they go over to machines. All the stuff that we know built the backs of champions for decades, deadlifts, rows, heavy barbell rows, and weighted pull-ups. A lot of them get away with weighted pull-ups. They just use the lat pull down their machine instead, right?
They could use anything. They could use anything and get pumped up on their drugs.
They can't do this stuff. They're too out of breath. They're too out of shape. Between the enormous size and the inflammation and stuff of the chest cavity, the elevated blood pressure, they're too out of shape to do real training with real free weights.
Sure. And this is the guy coming from this guy. He's the guy that called me crazy. Look at him. Look how crazy he is. Look at him, man. He's fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Therefore, machines got more popular. But then what do they pull it as? Well, they don't say that that's what's really happening. Well, I'm using this nut to work this and isolate this part of the back or this part of the chest or the quad, right? They come up with all this stuff that they're doing to try to isolate these muscles. We all know that's not.
Yeah, why are they isolating it for? Well, they're either pumping it up or they're isolating it to cause micro damage. Yeah. That's why the bodybuilding world is weird. Like, I mean, the whole fitness genre or whatever world is fucking weird, man.
Gonna matter. Like, dude, your squats would do it. You're on so many drugs and so genetically blessed, all that would blow up from squats if you could do them.
Well,
It would all.
I mean by cosmetic, it's just like what women put on their face. They put cosmetics and then they wash it off. So you could build muscles that are cosmetic. They're fake. You could eat a lot of carbohydrates and build artificial muscle. You could take steroids and the same thing. You could build artificial muscle. Yeah. So what's maintaining this? You eating carbs, what's maintaining that muscle? The carbohydrates and you pumping them up in the gym. Yeah. What's maintaining the cosmetic look from steroids? The steroids. When you stop taking it, what happens? It goes away. It isn't because you have good genetics. Because once you take those genetics away, guess what? Bye-bye genetics. Get it? Called steroids. Yeah.
Pull up from barbell rows if you could do enough sets of them. Okay, but they're too out of shape. They'll have no work capacity, no cardio. They'll be on the ground dying.
Oh, brother. They'll be on the ground dying because no cardio. I thought this was about machines, bro.
It's the side effects of the drugs and the overall size.
Okay.
They can't really function, a lot of them. I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but they're the exception, not the norm.
You know
Like,
why?
they can't function.
You know why they can't?
So therefore, oh, I use this machine, so then they make up all this nonsense. Well, if I use this and this exact cable on this machine, it works this one little angle perfectly. You know, it'd be something there. But really, you can't just incline bench?
No, because those ones are faking it by pumping up their muscles. They're faking it. Get it? Like you, Blaha. Blaha is faking it. He took TRT. So he too is faking it. But wow, it's just this. Can you imagine if he wasn't on TRT? If he already looks as bad as he does now on TRT, what the fuck would Blaha look like without TRT? Holy shit. He would look even astronomically worse.
You tell me you can't clean a barbell up and do a standing barbell press and work that same area just as effectively? I bet you could. Tell me you can't do it on an incline bench? I bet you
You
could.
could, but if you don't have to, they don't.
A lot of them will do that. But do you see where we're going?
Where are you going?
They can't do it. So therefore, what happens?
They
Then the
can't.
machines get popularized. We'll see all these body we do this, and it's to isolate.
People can't do it, bro. This guy's nuts. There's only a very handful of bodybuilders, these so-called drug addict bodybuilders out there. There's not many of them. There's more people in gyms than professional fake bodybuilders lifting. You understand me? Why? Because they're domesticated and they think they can undomesticate themselves and get their bodies to look good, like in shape, because of the food they've been eating. The slave food diet has destroyed their figure.
Like, dude, does it really matter? We all
Again, there are YouTube channels and it says before after transformation when they went on what? The carnivore diet, their natural diet. When they went on it, their bodies changed. Did the gym do it? No. The food did it. But of course, people argue, no, you have to go to the gym. That's going to create the body of your dreams. Well, where did your body go to begin with? Where was your body already? It was because of what created that problem. The slave food diet. Get it? Duh.
know there's no evidence that isolating a muscle causes any more growth. In fact, all the evidence says compounds work just as well. And I'm not saying not to ever isolate anything. As I'm saying that, you literally see me doing curls back there, strict curls. So I'm not saying never. But
He doesn't know what he's saying. He just had a pondering moment there right now. He just said, oh, fuck, it all works. Yeah, see what I mean?
let's be realistic. That's not why they're all training with these machines and the cables and everything.
Oh, it is it? You just admitted it.
Taking the rest of their body out. It's because of the drug side effects.
Oh.
And then the inability to breathe.
So what are the side effects of taking steroids? You get a cosmetic look. Your body looks cosmetic from it. Yeah. See? That's some of the side effects.
They're completely out of shape. Again, combination of both their total size and the inflammation all through the chest cavity and everything from all the excessive amounts of drugs.
That's blah. All that inflammation from excessive.
But then
lifting.
this is the way to train, and then other
From all this lifting.
people, well, of course, I come in, I use all these machines, and all this, my favorite bodybuilder uses these 5 machines, and blah, blah, blah. And they think that that's the way, and it's because, no, that's the only way they can train sometimes. Not that it's superior, it's that it's the only way that they can train it before long, then it's being sold, and everyone's coming in, doing all of it, and it's really oftentimes a lazy way to train. Right? And I don't want to hear it. People say, it is lazy. I'm out here in my garage sometimes in 95 degrees Texas heat doing squats and deadlifts. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. It's just lazy. Blaha's lazy.
Some guy in an air-conditioned room on a machine, and just stop. They're not training hard. They're not training hard. It's a luxury. So just stop.
Oh, yeah. Just stop.
Ronnie Coleman trained hard. Most of them do not. All right.
Oh, he did he? Coleman trained hard. The rest of them did not. Ronnie Coleman was stupid. That's why he's crippled.
Guys, but that's really all I...
See you in the next one. Excuse me. See you in the next one, friends. Ciao. This is a ridiculous video.